She walks in with charm, with beauty, with a smile that could disarm anyone. But here's the hard truth. Not every woman beside you is who she appears to be. Some will uplift your life, others will quietly erode it. The danger lies in failing to see the signs until years of your energy, peace, and purpose are already gone. In today's video, I'll reveal 7 unmistakable signals that the woman by your side cannot be trusted. Learn them and protect your life's most valuable asset, your peace. Welcome to the realm of Stoic love. To motivate us to make more useful videos, please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Remember to like and leave a comment. Whatever it is, your feedback will help us learn from you and grow. Now, let's explore the wonderful things ahead together. Some women illuminate the space the instant they enter. For some, the light re-emerges the instant they step outside. This is not a matter of resentment or assigning fault. It is about achieving understanding. For those who have experienced life's journey, as I trust you have, the truth becomes evident through personal observation. Not every smile is a sign of friendship, and not every hand you grasp is intended to support you. Life is fleeting, and it is unwise to expend your time, energy, and hard-won tranquility on those who deplete your spirit, create uncertainty, or cause you to doubt your own worth. Particularly those who conceal their true selves behind allure, attractiveness, or meticulously refined social skills. In today's video, we will explore 6 clear indicators of detrimental female behavior, characteristics that demand your attention. This is not a matter of judgment. It is a pursuit of wisdom. It's essential to discern who truly merits a place at your table and who is merely there to benefit from your generosity. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the happiness of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts. It is essential to consider the influence of those around you. Let us refine that clarity as a team. Prepared. Let us commence. 1. She consistently positions herself as the victim. The initial indication of a detrimental partner is often something many men fail to recognize until it is too late. She consistently adopts the role of the victim, without exception. It is irrelevant whether it is an unfamiliar face at the grocery store, a longtime friend of 2 decades, or former partners from the past. In every narrative, she consistently finds herself as the one who suffers, faces betrayal, or endures injustice. You find yourself seated opposite her, absorbing her words, acknowledging her feelings, perhaps even sensing a surge of protectiveness initially. Her persuasion is remarkable. She illustrates the harsh realities of life's inequities. How often she is misinterpreted. And if you're not observing carefully, you might conclude that perhaps she simply requires someone to show her the respect she deserves. That is the essence. However, as time passes, you come to understand that this is not merely about previous injuries. This pertains to mastery over oneself. I once encountered a man named Tom, a virtuous individual, unwavering and compassionate. Following his divorce, he encountered a woman of this nature. Initially, he perceived her as candid and invigorating. She revealed all to him, how her former partner deceived her. Her boss's intimidation by strong women became a barrier to her progress. How her family consistently favored her sister throughout their upbringing. He respected her resilience in overcoming all that. Yet, as time moved forward, the narratives continued unabated. They consistently adhered to the same narrative. All around me, negativity thrived. Each position concluded with a sense of injustice. All bonds of camaraderie concluded with treachery. In time, Tom discovered he was embodying a role he had not intended to take on. He played the role of the hero, always affirming her correctness, or the villain, whenever he expressed disagreement, or worse yet, proposed that she accept some accountability. This is the moment when peril arises. A woman who perceives herself as a constant victim will remain unwilling to acknowledge her part in any situation. She will reshape every circumstance to align with her interpretation of reality. Should you draw near, you may find yourself ensnared in that story, frequently becoming the next vessel for her anguish. It will be you who bears the weight of disappointment, the individual who failed to grasp her essence. It is a continuous cycle. It can be quite draining. It is essential to recognize that we have no power over the actions of others. Our only true power lies in mastering ourselves. Marcus Aurelius stated that your control lies within your mind, not in the external circumstances. Understand this truth, and you will discover your inner strength. Yet, the individual who holds on to a mindset of victimhood denies themselves that strength. She accepts life's circumstances and demands with composure. Others carry the burden of her feelings. She will test your resolve, your endurance. And if you're not vigilant, your tranquility may slip away. What is your purpose or role? You see it clearly for what it truly is. You cease the role of the savior. You are not accountable for the injuries of others that they choose not to address. You remain anchored in rational thought, rather than being swayed by feelings. You provide understanding. Maintain your boundaries firmly. When the narratives remain constant, you take a step back, with calmness and resolve. Inner tranquility is a lesson we learn from timeless wisdom. When faced with someone who consistently drags you into turmoil, it is not an act of cruelty to distance yourself. It is prudent. 2, she thrives on chaos. The second sign is one that will resonate within you before it manifests before your eyes. She thrives on chaos. And I do not refer to the rare emotional outbursts that we all experience from time to time. I refer to a woman whose existence unfolds like an unending theatrical performance, one she is guiding, performing in, and revising continuously. When the world around her becomes too tranquil and predictable, she will seek out a spark to ignite chaos, craving the thrill of existence once more. For her, tranquility lacks excitement. Restlessness brews within her amidst stability. Without awareness, you may find yourself ensnared in a relentless cycle of conflict, confusion, and emotional turmoil that appears unending. The initial signs often emerge subtly. Perhaps there will be a moment when she feels disheartened because your attention wavered while she shared her tale. Or perhaps your delayed response has become evidence of your detachment. A calm evening unexpectedly transforms into a confrontation you never anticipated. Time is wasted in endless explanations and apologies for matters that remain unclear to you. By the conclusion, you find yourself drained, while she appears inexplicably invigorated. That's the reality of individuals who find energy in chaos. It provides them with a sense of mastery over their circumstances. Disorder becomes their familiar ground, as it ensures they remain the focal point of attention. Emotions can often dictate the pace of life, leaving others to navigate the chaos that ensues. When you analyze this behavior with clarity and reason, it becomes entirely understandable. Seneca once observed that a man consumed by anger speaks without thought and closes himself off to reason. This principle is relevant in this context. An individual consumed by drama seeks neither truth nor resolution. She seeks the strength that arises from evoking emotions, be it her own or those of others. She strays from rational thought, overwhelmed by her impulses and emotions. She seeks no balance. She seeks engagement. Should you find yourself as the closest source, you may very well become entangled in the conflict. The true peril lies in the ease with which one can become engulfed by it. One might convince oneself that they are providing assistance, that they are bringing a sense of calm to the situation. Yet, you are not. Whether you intend to or not, you are contributing to her narrative. As time passes, it gradually erodes your tranquility, your understanding, and ultimately, your identity. You find yourself responding impulsively, feeling a sense of unease, treading carefully, uncertain of what might provoke the next upheaval. When a person allows their inner calm to slip away, they forfeit their most significant strength. What is the answer? Separation. Initially, it may not manifest in a physical form, but rather in an emotional capacity. Take a moment to pause and reflect. Allow the waves to crash, embracing the chaos without the urge to intervene. Watch with a discerning eye, yet refrain from engaging. As Epictetus emphasized, our influence over others is limited. Our power lies solely in our responses. At times, the most prudent course of action is to embrace silence, create distance, and decline to participate in another's turmoil. You are not bound to play a role in another's narrative. Your purpose is to stay anchored, composed, and ultimately liberated. 3. She exerts influence by invoking feelings of guilt. Consider that guilt serves as a powerful mechanism of psychological influence. Research indicates that it engages the same areas of the brain linked to physical suffering. That is the reason it carries weight. The weight in your chest, the tension in your stomach. It is not merely a product of your thoughts. Some individuals, the misguided ones, possess an uncanny ability to manipulate those strings with precision. The third indication of an unfavorable woman is as follows. She exerts influence by invoking feelings of guilt, not in a straightforward manner, nor with blatant intent, but through subtle, deliberate actions that prompt you to reconsider your own choices. Initially, it appears that she is merely sensitive. It's possible that she feels disappointment when you prioritize your work commitments over your plans together. Perhaps she becomes silent when you propose the idea of dedicating some time to your own well-being. It seems she simply requires some affirmation. Thus, you present it. You let go of your plans. You adjust your focus. With every instance, you relinquish a fragment of your essence to evade witnessing that look of disappointment in her gaze. You're aware of it. It states, "I believed you were unique. I believed my significance was greater." There is no need for her to voice it explicitly. Her silence speaks volumes. Her sigh speaks volumes. It begins to weigh on you, the sense that you are not meeting her expectations. It often feels as though, regardless of your efforts, the outcome falls short of expectations. And here lies the challenge. One often remains unaware until they have already surpassed their own limits. Your decisions are no longer grounded in reason or aligned with your values. You are responding impulsively. It seems you are grappling with the discomfort that arises when you prioritize your own needs over hers. This is her method of maintaining control. Guilt is the measure by which she navigates her choices. As you invest more, her expectations only increase. Not always through words, but through gestures, moods, and the deliberate retreat of affection. One often finds oneself justifying decisions rather than taking decisive action. Failing to meet unspoken expectations can cast you as the antagonist in her narrative. Gradually, you lose your essence and begin to embody the character she has scripted for you. This philosophy offers a solution to the matter at hand. Epictetus stated, "A person is not truly free unless they have control over themselves. This is the essence of it. When you let guilt dictate your choices, you have relinquished your autonomy. Guilt obscures clarity of thought. It ensnares you in a loop of compliance, causing you to forget your true purpose and core values. Engaging in conflict or debate is not the answer. It is essential to establish firm and unwavering boundaries, to respond with logic rather than succumb to fear. Your contributions stem from your own values, not out of fear of consequences, but because they resonate with your true self. And when she attempts to tug at those familiar threads of guilt, you stand firm, serene, accepted. A person who understands their principles and remains steadfast in them experiences true freedom. Freedom is an inherent quality that no burden of guilt can strip away from you unless you choose to relinquish it. She demonstrates a deficiency in understanding others' feelings. The fourth sign emerges when life presents its inevitable challenges. She demonstrates a deficiency in understanding others' feelings. And if you've experienced life to its fullest, you understand one undeniable truth. Eventually, life will present you with a significant challenge. Perhaps you experience the loss of someone dear. Perhaps your well-being faces a challenge. Perhaps the business may take an unexpected turn. In those moments, we discover who genuinely stands by us. A woman devoid of empathy. She will not be present, or if she is, it's merely out of obligation, not from a genuine desire within her heart. At first, it will reveal itself in subtle ways. Perhaps you express your exhaustion from a challenging week, and she briefly looks up from her phone, only to redirect the conversation to her own experiences. Typically, it is a matter of little significance. Or perhaps you reveal something intimate. It required a measure of bravery to share this. Rather than engaging deeply, she glides by it as if it were merely a trivial remark in an everyday exchange. There exists a separation. You recognize it. It's not merely a lack of understanding on her part. She remains indifferent to it. A man I hold in high regard shared with me a story about a woman he began seeing following the loss of his wife. Initially, her demeanor appeared to be one of encouragement. Yet, when the true burden of his sorrow emerged, when he required a presence to simply share the silence and offer support, she found herself uneasy, unsettled, restless. She lacked the emotional depth to connect with him on his level. She chose to redirect the conversation. She provided fleeting comforts before redirecting the focus onto her own concerns, her intentions, her challenges, her existence. In time, he came to understand that her presence brought him a deeper sense of solitude than his own company ever did. And this is where we incorporate the principles of resilience and rationality. Marcus Aurelius stated, "Do not squander any more time debating what constitutes a good man. Embrace it fully." However, I would propose this enhancement. Cease the futile expectation that others will transform into what they are inherently not. Empathy is not a skill that can be imparted or drawn forth from another individual. It exists, or it does not. And in its absence, you will sense it deep within your very being. A supportive partner recognizes that you are whole as you are, without the need for fixing. Her silence speaks volumes. Yet her presence, unwavering, composed, and genuine, serves as a reminder that solitude is an illusion. A woman devoid of empathy may occupy the same space as you, yet the distance between you will feel insurmountable. When you notice yourself justifying her distance in your toughest times, pause and reflect. Observe that sensation closely. Acceptance of reality is a fundamental lesson we can embrace. It is not about our desires, but about accepting reality as it is. In this instance, the matter is straightforward. If she lacks the ability to show compassion during difficult times, She will not stand by you when the inevitable challenges arise. It is not wise to impose greater expectations upon her. It is essential to make a different choice for your own well-being. Step away if it is necessary, not in anger, but with clear understanding. Life is fleeting. Do not waste it on those who hear your words, but fail to understand your essence. She fixates on trivial matters. The fifth sign is subtle and may not catch your attention immediately. Yet, as time passes, it will sap your vitality completely. She fixates on trivial matters, not in a trivial or inconsequential manner. This is an individual who evaluates existence based on superficial aspects. The size of the house is what it is. The cost of the shoes is quite high. Observe the number of individuals engaging, appreciating, and expressing approval. Matters that lack true significance over time, yet are regarded as if they embody the essence of existence. Her worth is measured by her possessions, rather than her authentic self. One might perceive it as innocuous. Ultimately, is there any harm in desiring finer possessions? Yet the issue extends beyond the surface. It's not about the possessions. It concerns the significance they hold for her. Current state, acceptance, excellence. She evaluates herself, and crucially, she evaluates you based on external appearances and what you can offer. It may seem as though you are caught in a relentless contest, one that you never agreed to enter. No matter if your earnings reach 6 figures or 7, or if you find yourself behind the wheel of a dependable truck or an extravagant car, satisfaction remains elusive. For there will always be those who possess more, and she is perpetually in pursuit of the next step to ascend. Over 2 millennia ago, wise thinkers cautioned against this type of mindset. Epictetus stated that true wealth lies not in the abundance of possessions, but in the simplicity of desires. Yet, a woman fixated on status and appearance finds no true contentment. Regardless of what she receives, satisfaction eludes her grasp. It is a fleeting exhilaration, succeeded by the void of insatiable desire. It resembles the futile effort of attempting to mend a shattered vessel. All that you invest seems to slip away effortlessly. She is ensnared in the pursuit of external validation, and if you attach yourself to her, you will inevitably be pulled into that tumultuous journey. But here is the reality that this philosophy reveals to us. External factors hold no inherent value. Marcus Aurelius referred to them as things indifferent, signifying that they neither enhance nor diminish your essence as a human being. What truly holds significance is character, excellence, your approach to life, and the principles you uphold. A woman who remains fixated on the superficial will fail to perceive the depth of your character, regardless of how steadfastly you adhere to your principles. Seneca stated that true poverty lies not in having too little, but in the insatiable desire for more. The individual fixated on trivial matters embodies the most impoverished form of companionship, for she will remain forever unfulfilled and incapable of providing tranquility. And tranquility, my friend, is what a wise individual protects above all else. When you encounter an individual who prioritizes appearances over reality, take a moment to reflect on this truth. In the pursuit of external validation, you risk losing your true self. Your energy, your dignity, your peace will be wasted in pursuit of illusions. The answer is straightforward, yet it may not always be simple to implement. Step away, not from a place of resentment, but from a foundation of understanding. A person who cherishes their tranquility understands the importance of moving on from a superficial existence. 6. She struggles to acknowledge her mistakes. The sixth sign manifests in those minor disagreements that escalate into far greater conflicts than necessary. She struggles to acknowledge her mistakes. Never. Even when you present every fact clearly, articulate your perspective with composed logic, and provide evidence so straightforward that a child could grasp it, she will still manipulate the narrative to justify her position. And if she cannot prevail with evidence, she will alter the very foundation on which you stand. In an instant, the focus shifts from the actual disagreement to the emotions involved, the perceived character attacks, or the recurring patterns of behavior. The initial idea is lost amidst a torrent of emotional distractions. Initially, it might seem like mere pride, or perhaps she is simply experiencing a challenging day. Yet as time passes, you come to understand that it transcends mere moments of stubbornness. It is a recurring theme. She struggles to acknowledge her mistakes, regardless of their insignificance. She will stand by a poor choice, a painful remark, or a clear mistake until the bitter end. For in her view, admitting fault signifies weakness. To her, any form of weakness is simply intolerable. The issue extends beyond simple pride. Individuals who are unwilling to acknowledge their mistakes frequently do so due to a delicate sense of self. Embracing responsibility can seem like an assault on one's sense of self, prompting a fierce defense to safeguard it at any expense. When the pursuit of being right dominates every interaction, one inevitably forfeits something far more precious: growth, connection, and trust. For one who fails to recognize their own shortcomings is unable to grow. Those who refuse to learn remain stagnant. The ancient philosophers grasped this concept more profoundly than anyone else. Marcus Aurelius stated, "If anyone can prove me wrong, demonstrate that I am mistaken or viewing things incorrectly, I will willingly adjust my viewpoint." I seek the truth above all else. True wisdom lies in embracing correction as a chance for growth, rather than perceiving it as a threat. When you encounter someone who dismisses that principle, you will find yourself in a dynamic where your viewpoint is constantly questioned, and the burden of being the rational one rests heavily upon you. That weight is draining, and it feels isolating. A relationship of this nature shifts focus from genuine connection to the pursuit of control. And the irony is, by refusing to acknowledge her mistakes, she forfeits the essential pursuit that brings meaning to existence: the quest for truth. When she struggles to utter the straightforward phrase, "I was wrong," it reveals more than just a defense of her pride. It signifies a barrier against personal growth, comprehension, and in the end, a retreat from love itself. For a person of resilience, this is where clarity becomes essential. Embrace humility and truth in your own existence, and seek a partner who embodies these same virtues, not due to her perfection, but because she embraces her imperfections and has the courage to acknowledge them. Without humility, there can be no true partnership, only rivalry, and life is too fleeting to waste on tallying scores. Seneca observed that only time possesses the ability to mend what reason cannot address. In a relationship devoid of reason, time serves only to exacerbate the situation. What is the answer? Find a person who understands that admitting mistakes is not a sign of weakness, but rather a profound demonstration of strength. And if she cannot provide that, then it is indeed time to move on. Not from a place of anger, but from a deep respect for yourself and the life of wisdom and tranquility you are cultivating. Her actions show a disregard for your time. Life has imparted a crucial lesson by this stage. Time is the only currency we can never reclaim. Wealth. It is within your reach to achieve it. Well-being. One can strive for it with determination. Yet what of time? Once it is expended, it is no longer available. That's why a woman who disrespects your time is not merely thoughtless. She poses a threat to your tranquility. Be vigilant, for she may quietly take years from you in subtle ways, unnoticed until the moment has passed. I recall a man named Richard, with whom I once worked in Houston, a seasoned contractor in his mid-50s, a man who has forged his entire existence through sheer determination and effort, focused, resolute, esteemed. However, in his personal life, the narrative took a different turn. Richard began to spend time with a woman named Elise, and initially, she exhibited a captivating charm. She possessed beauty, radiated kindness, and understood the art of making a man feel valued. Yet, a pattern emerged. She consistently arrived after the expected time. First, dedicate 20 minutes, then extend it to 40. She would often withdraw from commitments at the last moment, citing a lack of energy or the emergence of unforeseen circumstances. At times, she would completely overlook it. Richard, embodying patience, chose to let it pass without reaction. Initially, he believed it was simply the nature of existence. Life tends to become hectic. We are all familiar with that experience. Yet time continued its relentless march, transforming weeks into months. Richard adjusted his work schedule to accommodate hers. He sat in restaurants by himself, embracing solitude with quiet resolve. He postponed outings and called off fishing weekends with longtime friends because Elise expressed a strong desire to spend time with him that day, only for her to back out without a moment's hesitation. It remains etched in my memory. That afternoon spent across from him, observing his gaze fixed on his phone after yet another instance of her absence. He simply shook his head and remarked, "I often find myself in a state of waiting. Such is the consequence when one fails to honor your time. They hold you in a state of anticipation, affecting not only your body, but also your mind and spirit. And if you allow it, they will convince you that it's just the way things are. It is essential to cultivate a deeper sense of understanding. This is the reality we face at present. But a wise individual understands more deeply. Seneca observed that our time is not inherently brief, but rather that we squander a significant portion of it. And that is the reality Richard came to understand. Elise found herself with ample time on her hands. She was simply discerning. Her disregard for his time stemmed from her lack of appreciation for him. He permitted this by failing to prioritize his own time. The path forward does not lie in confrontation or ultimatums. It is understanding. Honor your time with the same intensity you honor your existence. They are inherently unified. A woman who respects you will also respect your time. She will arrive as promised. Your time will be regarded with the utmost reverence. For that reason, they simply are. Epictetus inquired, "How long will you postpone, demanding the best from yourself?" Richard ceased his waiting, and thus, you ought to as well. Every moment squandered is a moment of life lost. Invest your resources in places that truly appreciate them. I am eager to learn about your path and victories. Consider subscribing, activating the notification bell, and sharing your experiences in the comments below, whether they are triumphs or the obstacles you faced. When in doubt about your response, simply express your appreciation by stating, "I love this," to indicate that you have finished this session. Your involvement fosters the development of this community, guiding us toward understanding and transforming every obstacle into a chance for growth. Here are 2 additional videos for you to further your learning and enhance your personal growth journey. If these words echo your truth, write this in the comments. I begin my journey. I read everyone, and I walk this path with you. Subscribe, because the stories we've yet to tell are the ones that change us most. What did you think of the video? be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment to share if you journeyed all the way to the end of the video. Simply utter those words, and I'll understand that this video made a difference for you. Thank you kindly, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more captivating tales like this one. I've set aside a few of our videos that will be quite beneficial for you. They appear before our eyes, alive on the screen,